hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host iamBranded.
And put this mic on this young lady right here. Go ahead, DZ. Do your introduction to this young lady.
Well, everybody, I want everybody to give a long round of applause. You know what I'm saying? A warm VPDG's Wednesday exclusive welcome to the one, the only Mia X in the building tonight, y'all.
What's up, Mia X?
How y'all doing?
Wait, you gotta give her applause.
Yeah, give her a round of applause.
Standing ovation. Get out your seat, people. Get out your seat. Hey, like you said, DZ, we got royalty in the building. So, Mia X, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
That's the queen in the building.
Mia X, man, I'm so glad to have a Southerner on the show representing. How you been?
I've been good.
You been good? And what you been up to? You know what I'm saying? For all the fans that would like to know.
I just finished a memoir and cookbook, and I'm filming a cooking show right now. And other than that, I've just been enjoying life.
That's what's up. What kind of cookbook are you making?
It's a lot of my grandmother's recipes, and it's a book really where I'm reflecting on the time that I spent with her. She raised me while my mom was still in college, and she was pretty hardcore, and she said a lot of profound things. And so when I'm talking to my friends and my relatives, we often laugh at the things she said, and I was like, well, in addition to sharing her recipes, I'm going to go ahead and share some of the things that she said, because I came to make a lot of the food that I make over being in the kitchen with her and having conversations about different things, life, relationships, all kind of stuff. And I just decided to put it all down, and hopefully, for ladies and men that didn't get an opportunity to grow up with their grandmothers, or if they had a grandmother that was different from mine, because my grandmother was off the chain, they can learn some stuff and embrace her wisdom, laugh at a lot of things she said, and you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll think, because that's just the type of person she was. And I'm just getting ready to share.
I like that. It's different.
Yeah, them Southern grandmas, them South grandmas, they don't play. You know what I mean? They get on you. You know what I'm saying? They be having some of the funniest stuff to say to you too. But
but the realest stuff, it was a lot of things. It was always real, but she shot from the hip, and a lot of people are quite shocked, when I quote out some of the things she said, because usually I quote the things she said on Twitter. And they'd be like, oh, my God, your grandmother really said that. I'm like, she really did, and I'm trying to keep it kind of rated aura because she was really triple X, so, it shocks people, but at the same time, they embrace it because it's so real. She was just real.
Yeah, that's what's up. You know what I mean? So, as far as, can you give us like a little sneak peek, like a recipe that you got in the cookbook that people might want to get a preview to?
Well, I have so many recipes in the cookbook, but if a lot of people are following me on Twitter, I put recipes in my favorites all the time. I cook every day. I started a clique on Twitter called Team Whip Them Pots, and we almost 47,000 strong. We just tweet out our recipes, and we take pictures of the food that we cook, and make up recipes. I just made up a cupcake called I'm Rich Bitch, and it's
love the name.
It's a cupcake with it has chocolate, caramel, cream cheese, rum. It has so many things in it. It's a pretty rich cupcake. That's why I call it I'm Rich Bitch. And it's really good. It's really good. And I'm doing some food columns for All Hip Hop and for Complex Magazine. So I'm really excited about that because I've been getting some really good feedback from my recipes. But I cook every day, and I pretty much take pictures of the food every day and share it with the public. I'm trying to encourage people to cook a little more, at least 3 times a week, because it's cheaper to cook. You know, you feed more people when you cook. You buy four value meals at a fast food spot. You might spend $18, and really and truly, you can feed like 10 people off $20 if you cook. You know, so I'm just trying to encourage people to cook again. And you know, there's so much stuff that happens in the kitchen. You talk about everything. You know, you talk about your relationships, your children, your finances. So many discussions in the kitchen. The kitchen is deep like the barbershop and the beauty shop, sometimes a little more deeper because it's intimate. And so, you know, I'm trying to encourage that whole bonding again where mothers and daughters can talk and friends can talk and, you know, really just get to know each other a little better, because these days we're not talking to each other enough. You know, we read and stuff and looking at TV and talking at each other. So I'm just trying to get us to honor those great women that we call grandmothers, because we can't let their legacies die. You know, they passed so much wisdom to us, and they nurtured us. So we got to keep that alive if we want to stay strong.
Right. Now, do you do the Sunday dinner, like you got to get the fam over and you cook for everybody, and you have all the people with the plates, like with the fried chicken, greens, sweet potatoes, all that? Do you do that?
You know what's funny? My house is like Sunday dinner every day.
I heard that.
But we still we get together on Sundays. I live like in 4 different cities, so it's hard for me to get with all of my family all the time. So I pretty much have a little, you know, set of people in every city, and I get the opportunity to cook for them. But this holiday has been good for me because I got the chance to spend with my children. One of my children live in New Orleans, and the other one live in Dallas. And so, you know, we're doing a lot of phoning and everything, and I'm in Texas most of the time. So I finally had both of my kids. You know, they grown, and it was just such a great thing for me to cook for them and spoil them. But I don't know, every day is Sunday dinner at my house. I cook everything, you know, every day. I cook big every day.
I got a question.
That still cook. Shout out to the women that still cook. Shout out
no
to
doubt.
Right.
No doubt. I got a question. You know, I've been on your Twitter. You know, people need to go follow her. Go check out The Real Mia X, just like it says, just like it sounds. So I've seen some of the stuff, the pictures that you took of your food and stuff like that, and you know, I had a couple of people I'm you know, going back and forth with some people via emails, and they're like, man, you know, I was on her Twitter, and all the stuff she got looks so damn good. Do you cater? People already talk about, do you cater? Like, your stuff looks so damn good. People want to go ahead and just be like, hey, can you go ahead and rock some catering for us or something like that?
You know what? I cater sometimes. I have a restaurant in New Orleans, and I have 2 chefs that actually work at the restaurant. But I cater sometimes. Cooking is a passion for me. When I first got into I got into the game in '84, but like I cut my first record in '91.
Right.
And a lot of times when I would go to the studio, I would always make the engineers food. So I would get to record longer than anybody. You know, some of the girls was bribing producers and engineers with sex. I was always bribing them with food. You know, oh, you like these? you like jambalaya? Well, I'm gonna make you some. And I would bring pots of food in, you know, and then and I got No Limit in '94. A lot of artists would come down from California, from New York, from wherever, you know, whoever we were collabing for. And I would always make the food so that when they came, you know, they had home meals. We would also take them out to eat. But when you live on the road a lot, you miss your family and you crave, like, home cooking. So I would find out, you know, what's your favorite meal? Oh, you like fish? You like steak, you know, you like pasta, okay, and I would cook it up for him, you know. So, I don't know, cooking is a passion. I cater a lot of times, a lot of private events. My friends have parties and they have baby showers and things, you know, I hook them up. You know, it's just, it's a passion, and it also relaxes me because I'm like a OCD type person. I'm real high strung. Things have to be a certain way, or I feel like I'm gonna snap. So my grandmother, she taught me this thing. I'm serious, y'all. Like, I get so mad sometimes that I have to like chop on things and mix on things and blend on things to keep from chopping and mixing and blending for real.
Wow.
Like, it's really, you know, cooking calms me down because I want to get everything right and I want everything to taste perfect. So if something is on my mind that's weighing heavy on me, I start cooking so I can channel that energy into perfecting the dish and not really worrying about what's bothering me, you know, because I had a relationship crisis about 22 years ago, and I was so mad, and my grandmother was like, get them 2 chickens out the refrigerator. And when I got them out, she was like, wash them chickens, and what you going to do, you going to cut that bird so you don't cut that bird. And I talk about that in the cookbook. You know, our family, the ladies in our family had chicken therapy where we would just cut up chickens, and sometimes the freezer is so full with freezer bags full of cut-up chickens because you know somebody that went through something. You can literally give your neighbors freezer bags of chicken to go home, throw out, and bake and fry for their own family. You know.
I heard that.
I mean, it's just the truth. You know, sometimes I get stressed out, and cooking, it relaxes me. It calms me down. I get great pleasure in seeing people enjoy the food, you know. It works for me. Some girls shop, I cook.
I heard that.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Plus, cooking at home is so much more healthier, and you know that you made it. Like, you know, you mentioned the OCD thing. I have the same issue. I can't go eat at fast food places because I worry about if they wash their hands or not. I like home-cooked meals, and it's so much better. You know what I'm saying? You know that it was made with love, and it's good.
I feel you. You know, I lost 37 pounds. What happened in 1992, I gained like 40 pounds because my first record had, you know, made like a splash all over the South. And I was traveling a lot, you know. I put this record out myself independently. I moved 77,000 units. And me and my girl Jill, we would just be in a car and stopping at the fast food place at 5 and 6 in the morning, leaving concerts. And Jill was always disciplined. You know, she would say, oh, I'm not about to eat that. It's too late. But I'm like, you wasn't the one on the stage. I'm starving. And my grandmother kept saying, now you going to be a big bitch. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, I see it. You're getting fat. You said, what are you eating? Because my grandmother, we grew our vegetables in the backyard, and we cooked. Cooking was our life. Our house was a juke joint on Fridays and Saturdays. We sold food, you know, and we gambled and we sold liquor. So she was just like, what in the world are you eating? But I was eating a lot of fast food, and before you know it, I was really, really big. And by the time 94 came, I got with no limit. People that went to high school with me, they didn't really recognize me because I had got big, you know, and it was like I was eating all the wrong things. So in 2001, I got really sick, and it was because I was 212 pounds. Now, y'all got to feel me. I'm 5'4". A lot of people thought by looking at the videos that I was a tall girl. I'm 5'4", so I'm 212 pounds. I got sick and had to go to the hospital, and my blood sugar was 378.
Wow.
So the doctors were like, you almost went into a diabetic coma. You are so lucky to be here, but you have to lose weight. So I decided it's time for me not only to exercise but to cook again. In the first 3 months, I dropped 20 pounds. And then after that, I would lose like 5 pounds a month, 5 pounds a month, 5 pounds a month. So I was like, well, I'm not a young girl anymore. I'm not a majorette anymore. So it's not like I aspire to be really thin, but I never want to hit the 200-pound mark again because it was such a bad health risk for me. You know, my feet would swell, like all kind of things would happen. I would be so tired. I would have to practice every day just so I could have breath, you know, when it was time to do shows. So now I don't let myself get over 160 pounds because I know that all of the problems are going to start. You know, I was taking this medicine called glucophage. I was taking 1,000 milligrams of it a day. And that medicine messed with your liver. So I'm like, damn, you know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The only way to come off the medicine was to control my weight, to control my blood sugar. So now I don't have to take it, and that's because I cook every day, and I keep a lot of vegetables in my body. I still throw down. I make every kind of food I want to make, but, you know, I'm just like, knowing I can't eat a certain thing, I'll be 42 in 2 weeks. So I ain't trying to eat like at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not trying to eat I'm rich bitch cupcake. I gotta eat that. Then I gotta exercise, you know. So I'm not a big exercise like workout person. I don't even play it like that. Like I want y'all to think I'm on like a big crazy health kick because it's not like that. But you know, in New Orleans we have bounce music and it's fast. And you shake.
Oh, yeah.
So I put the bounce music on and I shake 30 minutes to an hour because I like to dance. And it keep me trim everywhere, you know. So I tell the sisters on Twitter, too, well, we're going to get this morning's workout. And, you know, you put some bounce music on and get your shake on. Your man like it anyway. If he walk in the house and catch you shaking, catch you bent over, he's going to be motivated and you're going to be motivated, and it's good cardio. You know, it's just like little simple things that I try to do to just stay away from that 200-pound mark because that was dangerous for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it through that, and congratulations on your weight loss.
Hey, and Mia, can I say that you know, you was looking good back then, and you looking just as you looking fine now too. But you know, big ups for what you trying to you know, do, not just with you know with the whole cookbook and everything, but just now you looking good. I trust me, I'll be on your Twitter heavy, so just know I'm watching you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Mia over there looking fine. She over there looking fine as can be. And then, come on now, you know, and DZ, you know this too. Like us guys, we love a woman that can cook. You know, and I ain't trying to segregate just the way the women get down, but y'all women down south, y'all know how to get down. I'm just letting y'all know. Yeah. Y'all do it big.
But you have to understand, it had a lot to do with our survival skills because, especially in the South, y'all remember before the Civil Rights Movement, how hard it was, especially for people in the South.
Exactly.
A lot of us had to hustle food in order to feed our families. And like I talk about this in the cookbook, my grandmother was born during the Depression, and she always talked about, don't let nobody make you feel like you some Susie homemaker bitch because you can cook. She was like, back in the day, when the Depression was strong, we had to stand on soup lines, and black people had to stand at the back of the lines. And a lot of times, since the whole country was going through a crisis, they would run out of soup, so that meant the black people didn't get anything. So we had to learn how to hunt and how to fish and really get back to, like, growing things in our yard just so we can have something to eat. So a lot of ladies in the South took pride in cooking and trying to hustle their pies, hustle their fried chicken, hustle whatever they had to make ends meet, to make money. You know, so that's why the passion for food is so strong in the South, because it's part of our survival skills. You know, that's what it was about for us. And I'm trying to, like, keep that alive, but not just in the South now. I want my ladies, because I got the opportunity to sell records to sisters everywhere, you know, that appreciated what I contributed to the game. So I want to, like, hook all of them up and have all of them a part of Team Whip Them Pots, you know, and have them in the kitchen with their daughters and their nieces and their little cousins, because we gotta keep the tradition, the survival tradition going. Because if you just one of them chicks that think, I'm going to eat out because I got money, times could get real again. This country has seen a depression before, and if I got a restaurant like I do got a restaurant, baby, I'm going to close my doors and save what I got for my own people. Then what you going to do? So you better know how to whip them pots. You know?
Exactly. See, that's why me, I'm telling you, they be clowning me on the show sometimes because I'm from the South. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the SIP, and they be clowning me because I be talking with a certain swag or I talk a certain way, and I tell them Southern stuff or whatever. But it is what it is. That's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chili's ain't no gourmet, you know, type of food dish. You know what I'm saying? Chili's is a survival dish. You know what I'm saying? Just took on. You know what I mean? So everybody, you know what I'm saying? That everybody don't know a lot of stuff about the South. You know what I'm saying? Although I can't stand Chili's, but you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
I call them chick bags. Yeah, I know. I don't eat chitlins at all. But it definitely is a survival food. It's a survival food. You know, I don't eat frog legs either, but that's a survival food. You know, see, in New Orleans, we from the swamp, so we ate the things in the swamp. You're subject to see an alligator crossing I-10 and getting hit.
Yep.
You know, so they were hunting alligators and squirrels and frogs and things of that nature during the Depression to actually survive, you know. And now you go in the restaurant and people pay top dollar for some frog legs and alligators. Yep. My grandmother and them was hunting them and eating them because there was nothing else, you know, at that time. But, I mean, everybody had it hard, and everybody have an accent. It don't matter where you're from. I moved to California, and my partners laughed so hard at me because they didn't understand nothing I was saying. You know, I would say, oh, we get ready to go by such and such house. And they say, go by such what? You know, and I'm like, oh, well, what can I say? And they said, well, we going over to so-and-so's house. Why you said bye? I'm like, I don't know. I always say I'm by such and such or so-and-so house. I don't know, but everybody talk different. Everybody have a slang, you know. But at the end of the day, we all cousins. Like it or not, all your grandmas and them is really from the South, no matter where the hell they ended up living.
Oh, straight up. Straight up.
Now, Mia, let me ask you this. I got one more question about the food now. Now, say the Nexxlegacy staff, we come over to your house. Me, Brand, Sunset, Blue, we come over to the house, you know what I'm saying, on Sunday. We trying to get a good meal. What you going to cook for us? A special occasion, what you got for us on the stove?
I mean, it would depend on what y'all want. Every day is I don't know, you know, I might do toast on Sunday. We might do Cornish hens. I might fire up the grill. I mean, I don't know. I cook. I just wake up in the morning sometimes, and if I'm feeling it, I'll say, well, I'm going to grill. I'm going to do salmon today, or I'm going to do Cornish hens today, or I'm going to do gumbo today, or I'm going to do greens today. You know, it depends on how I'm feeling. Or if somebody call me and say, I'm coming over to your house, can you make me some oxtails or something? And I'll say, you know, just
Hey, see, Mia, I'm wide, sweetheart. I'm wide open with it, so you know I can call you and be like, Mia, I'm on the way. Just surprise me. Whatever you feeling like, go for it. Just do what you do. And it's one thing I gotta tell you too. The more I hear you talk, the more I hear that passion come out of your mouth about not just cooking, but the family values that you kicking, because I heard you earlier when you said, you know, talking about, you know, well, we got to start reading more, you know, cooking at home more, do more stuff as a unit, as opposed to just getting that quick fast food or that quick fast text message or that quick fast whatever.
Everybody go in their room and eat. Nobody's at the table talking about how you're doing. If you ask your children, how their day went and what's going on, sometimes you'll find out that it's a certain beef or a misunderstanding or your children are feeling out of place about something. It's just important to, like, jib with them and let them know you was young once and you went through different things, and, you know, the only thing that really changes the times, but the actual events pretty much stay the same. It's always a mean clique, a jealous clique, a messy clique, a smart clique. So, you know, you got to, like, sit down with them, and food is like it's an icebreaker, you know. That's why the grandmothers did that like that in the South. You know, somebody came over and had a problem or whatever. You see somebody put on a pot of coffee and warm up something, and, like, relax everybody. And you dish them up something and say, now, baby, what's going on? They're going to break it down to you. And, you know, you open up that line of communication because we don't have it anymore. And I'm passionate about that, especially for ladies and men who still have their parents and grandparents around their children, because, you know, my parents are gone, my grandparents are gone, and we used to, like, vibe. Me and my mom and my grandmother, we was like the three stooges. You know, we would be all on a three-way together. I bought my mama house around the corner from my house. I moved my grandmother and grandfather in my house. My grandmother had her own phone line. She across the hall from me. We would be on the phone. She on her line, I'm on my line, and we on the phone three-way with my mama. My mama about to come over. She tell us she gonna call us from the cell phone. Then me and my grandmother watch her on the cameras, pull up, you know, go meet her at the door. Then we all go in my grandmother's room and finish the conversation before we take it to the kitchen and make something. So I really want people to value, like, their families and, like, get that game from your parents and grandparents, because they know so much. They've been through a lot, and the stuff they'll pass down to you will help you. Because, I mean, I remember when my mama was 42, and I thought she was pretty old. And I'm blinking my eyes on January 9th. I'm going to be 42, so for all of the young people that think your mom and them just old, you're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be right on the heels of that particular age. So I really just want people to, like, keep that vibe going, because it's like we really don't say anything to each other anymore. We know more about, like, the Kardashians and all the stuff on reality TV than we know about what's going on in our own houses.
Right.
You know, we have some children and some serious beef, but you know all about whatever Kim and them doing, but you don't know when your child go to school. Tomorrow it's going to be a big fight or something, you know, so I'm trying to, like, get people to be in that. My grandma and them was on us. They was in our stuff, you know. They was in our stuff, and good, bad, or indifferent, because I was a bad little girl, you know. But for real, they should have hit me with a bag of bricks. I say that all the time, Lord. But they still, you know, they was on me. She was always telling me stuff and making me respect myself and defend my honor. So when I came in the game, I was a fat girl talking all that shit. It was because she had built my self-esteem up so strong, you know, to make me really be proud of who I was and embrace who I was and bring all the stuff she taught me to the game. You know, like, when I threw the bullet and I'm about it, my grandma used to throw bullets at her friends, her family, her son. And she used to say, catch this. Now we're going to see if your ass catch the next one. And her eyes would go towards her big black pocketbook, because she had 2 pistols in that pocketbook. And, you know, it used to be so funny how she would do that. So I didn't have a script in about it. I didn't have a script in none of the movies. They just used to let me be a damn fool. And so when we was playing dice, I was like, I know, y'all. Let me pitch this bullet at Skull like my grandma be doing. And they all knew it, because they all knew her. And we just thought, yeah, that's probably going to be cool. But a lot of things I said, even in my rhymes, had a lot to do with the way she handled me and the things she said. You know, she always told us that the Pussy don't make him stay, it make him skeet. And word of his tongue is not in your panties.
Wow.
So,
Tell him.
Really?
Tell him.
Like, for real. And you know, I had children, 2 kids for 2 different men. I would be drove, and you know, you're trying to find out where your old man is and what he's doing. And she used to tell me, you need to stop worrying because you can't keep up with a Pussy or a DICK that ain't attached to you. You're responsible for yours. You know, so
this is what I'm talking about right here. Like this real talk. It's real talk though.
No, it's all the way real. You know, she told me a woman is capable. We can pull off many looks. Just don't let desperate be one of them. And she told me don't be no gossiping, messy-ass little girl, because young messy hoes grow up to be old messy bitches.
Ooh.
Right.
I mean, real talk though. Yeah, man, I'm so glad. I promise you, Mia. I'm so glad you on the show tonight because people just don't understand. Like you hear women, like you see women nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like they think they can throw some kitty cat at a nigga and it's just gonna be, oh, okay, well I'm with her now. I'm not with you now. You don't even understand, man. It's like you gotta do the stuff that you think that you can throw at a nigga to keep him there, it's not even that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Pussy ain't got no face.
Exactly.
Damn. So if you want to think, because we thought, you know, I was a fine little girl. I was a midget. Me and my cousins was pretty. We had hair. We thought, you know, because the boys say, ooh, you look like a Indian, and you look like a this, and you look like a... My mom said, don't be fooled. He ain't got no type, because your PUSS ain't got no face. It ain't got no face. He'll have a fat chick bust wide open or a skinny chick pull going. You got to know that. You know, we can't say that it's just our bodies or whatever because they could get head from a crack slut and they could get the whole package from the neighborhood hot ass. So what else you got? You know, at the end of the day, men like women that are strong and confident. You know, women that will challenge them. It don't matter how you look. It don't matter how much you think you could hula hoop your hips. Like, at the end of the day, that don't even matter. You know, if that's all you got, you still a one-trick pony.
Exactly.
So,
oh, my goodness, man.
I don't want ladies to think that the buck stops with a high pair of legs and a big ass because it really don't. You know, I want them to have a few things going for themselves because if he leave you high and dry, then you feeling stuck and lonely, and that whip your self-esteem down. No, women, we queens, you know, we got to understand that we were chosen by God to be the mothers of creation. So, therefore, we can never be second class. So we got to stop playing ourselves like we second class because who else we pick to be the mothers of the whole world? Like, we the mothers of the whole world, you know, so... I don't want females to sell themselves out short. I never was against bros. You know, I never been in rap beef. I never had a messed up opinion about one particular sister or another. I think every form of hip hop should be valued and is needed. We need gangster rap. We need gospel rap. We need booty shake rap. We need backpack hip-hop rap. We need it all because if it was just one thing, then it would be blah. It would be like everybody got on a pair of black pants and a checkered shirt. And who wants to be in a coat all dressed alike? So we need everything. Variety is the spice of life, so I ain't never been mad one way or another at anything females especially was doing. I just don't want us to sell ourselves short and compromise our essence because I got in the game when I was 14. I was blessed to be able to retire when I was 29 years old, and I left with my legacy intact. And that's what I want all artists, not just female artists, but I want all artists to do that. So however you making your money, you know, you got $12, you need to put away 7 and flip that 5 and keep it pimping so you can have, you know, some rainy day money because it's time.
Damn, I love me an X tonight.
Don't be
I love
with that foolishness. Because listen, if you're beefing with somebody, if you sign to somebody, your CEO is making a max cap off the beef, not you.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it don't really pay to be beefing. Tourists make more money. So you really could just be putting your little tour together and put out great music for your fans because fans don't need to continuously be flooded with a lot of bullshit anyway. So
that's right.
I just think the object of the game is to make great music, and it doesn't matter who's the most popular because great music stand the test of time. I'm shocked every time. I don't go out often because my kids are 24 and 22, so I don't go out often. But when I do, and they run a no-limit set, and I see people between 18 and 25 jumping up and down, singing songs that I done 17 years ago and 13 years ago, that
Absolutely.
makes me feel good. Yeah, like I'm not a gimmick. And I wasn't a fad because when they put that music on, people still rocking to it. And I was part of something that moved 75 million records, you know. So exactly. I don't care if I wasn't the most popular. At the end of the day, I put some substance down. So I just want artists to make real good music and handle their business. Copyright your stuff. Start your publishing company. Protect this art because you have children. So 20 years down the line, if the radio stations still play your stuff and the cable TV stations play it, you can go ahead on and still get you a little something for your kids and your grandkids. That's just where I'm at with it. This a business. This a multi-billion-dollar business. This is not a game. You know, you in rap just to get a call or just to get some girls or just to get some red bottoms, you playing yourself. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. You know, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. It's not like chump change. You know, rap is no longer a fad. I can say that because I'm older than rap music.
Right.
You know, I'm rap music is 37, and I'm gonna be 42. And it's not a fan.
For me, keep it real, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the South, so I already know what it is. You are the queen of female rap music in the South. Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not just the South, though. Like, let me correct you real quick. Not just the South, because out here in the Bay Area, though, Mia X is well. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, DZ, but the Bay loves Mia X.
You know I understand
what you're saying, but in the South, like what Mia said, when she dropped her first single, I mean her first album in '92, you know what I'm saying, and it some thousand copies, you know what I'm saying. That's the South. You know, the South already recognized her. You know what I'm saying. It was just up to the rest of the world to get on board with it. You know what I'm saying? Mia been running the South like I don't know how long. You know,
almost 21 years.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Mia.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I can't lie. Mia is the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mia, she ain't one of them rappers that you can listen to and just be like, oh, it's gonna be the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is, Mia, let me ask you this because I know Brian got stuff he want to ask you. But let me ask you this. Like when you see female rappers nowadays, and I ain't going to name no names because I don't want nobody like to come sideways at you or nothing like that because of a misquoted quote that they might take. But when you see female rappers nowadays, what do you think? Like, honestly.
You know what I think, honestly? It's a shame because it's not a controversial answer. I think there go my babies. I mean, I look at rap chicks is my daughter. You know, sometimes as a mama, you don't like what your daughter wears. Sometimes you don't like what your daughter say. But then you have to like step back and remember when you say certain things. Because I have a record called A Payback. It's 20 years old, and I said some terrible, disrespectful things in that record. To the point where my son was managing Peaches Records. I used to work in Peaches in New Orleans. That's the oldest mom and pop's record store in the country. Peaches Records is 39 years old. But my son, one day somebody pulled up the lyrics to The Payback. So my son called me, and he was like, Mama, whose lyrics is this? So he went to reading, and I was like, oh. I said, that's mine. So he said, dude, tell me this. But I was like, nah, dog. And I was like, that's because you was 4 when I dropped the record. He was like, oh, my goodness. But, you know, sometimes I listen to records and I go, oh, Lord, I don't know if I would have said that like that. And sometimes I go, oh, that is stupid. Sometimes I go, that's whack. Sometimes I go, that is dope, and that bitch gonna be something. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, in my Freddy Krueger voice, it's like, you are all my children. And I'm not mad at none of them because they got to find their, you know, we have to find our way in music, and especially when you start young, it's a growing process, and it's really awkward when you're growing up in front of the world. You know, you're trying to find your voice, so you might start off extra hard or extra raunchy or extra whack. You know, you might start off like all kind of ways, and then if the people just gamble on you and give you an opportunity, sometimes, you know, those diamonds in the rough really manifest. But I don't like everything I hear, and really because I'm an old soul. You know, I came up with my grandmother, so if you follow me on Twitter, you notice I tweet a lot of old music because I'm older than Rapper's Delight. I came up in the era where I was listening to a lot of soul and a lot of blues and a lot of rock. You know, I was a teenager in the 80s. I was out clubbing and thugging, and, you know, so in the 80s, rock music kind of ruled, you know. So I'm really not a big, like you would say, some people get shocked when they hear me saying I'm playing James Joplin or something. They say they just figure like I'll be just jamming pop all day in the house, you know. And I'm like, well, I came up when we really were playing all kind of music, and when they really, really swore that rap was a fad, you know, so it wasn't that much play. The way, you know, everything is hip hop, you know, infused with hip hop some kind of way. Even the little kids shows, you know, hip hop rules right now. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm not mad at no female for what they're doing, because they got to do what they got to do. At the end of the day, you know, I can't do you, you can't do me. And when I came out, I was in the streets. I really was in the streets, and I really was with men that was in the streets, and so my plight was different. It was infused with some fun, some shopping, and the overall struggle of sisters. You know, I worked 2 jobs to pay my children's tuition, and I had bills, and I wasn't ashamed to rap about having bills and struggling, and I had to tell this nigga, fuck him. Now that I told him this, Lord, how I'm going to pay these bills. That was a lot of, that's what my rap was. But if your rap is you on an island or whatever, then be on the island. But shit, I wasn't on the island. I was in a project trying to think about how I'm going to buy me a house. That's right. What my rap was.
Mia, let me ask you this. Mia, let me ask you this, especially when it comes to female MCs, because I put you right up there with Latifah, MC Lyte, a lot of these iconic figures, because of not just the material you put out, but also the respect level that you have throughout your fan base. So let me ask you this, because to me, I think you came along in an era, and even a little bit before you with female MCs, that a lot of the way the females was judged was based off of they talent. If they had lyrics, they was able to get in regardless. It didn't matter what kind of clothes you had on or how your body was shaped and all kind of stuff. People didn't care. Nowadays, do you think that, especially now where it's so outside in versus inside out, a lot of people look more at, okay, let me see what you wearing, or let me see how you shaped, or if you got a big ass, and then let me check your lyrics out. See, a lot of people, this is my opinion, you can agree or not, I think they look more outside versus in with the talent they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, the funny thing about it is I came on the cusp of that because
right.
I put this record out in '91, and I was heavy set, but I was jamming. But then in '94, when me and P got together, and then it was 95 when we got the priority distribution. Let me tell you something, man. Them people used to tell that dude, your ex is pretty, but she too fat. And the reason why she not up there with Kim and Foxy is because she's fat. You need to make her lose weight. And I remember P saying, I support whatever you want to do, Mama. If you want to get a trainer or whatever, it's cool. But if you want to stay like you are, it's cool. I ain't tripping. And so I was just like, well, fat bras like everything that slim bras or fat bras like. So, I mean, we're trying to figure out, like, why I got to just look like everybody else just to sell a record. And honestly, you know, my record certified gold in 6 weeks, and I ain't had no radio versions.
That's
so
right.
I thought that was a great accomplishment. Now, do I think if I was slimmer, I could have went platinum or double platinum with Unladylike? I don't know, because I think if we would have dropped the second single, that probably would have pushed me to platinum. But if I was like, you know, in certain way they could see my butt and stuff, I think the boys would have been like, ooh, she could run this a little bit. Like, they think about sex every 6 seconds. You know, I think it's always been a matter of that outside in, because you see, Salt and Pepper was the broads that always done the platinum. Light and Latifah didn't, bro. We just was respected for our craft.
Right.
But they got notoriety and respect for being spitters, but as far as like doing the numbers, the sexier girls always do the numbers. Salt and Pepper, you know, on top of them being dope, because I love them to death, they still was on their body work. You know, they was sitting up and pushing up and everything else. So they was platinum and double platinum out the gate. You know, it's always been that way. The world thought the real Roxanne was beautiful, and they thought Roxanne Shante was cute, but she was a spitter. So real Roxanne had more commercial success because they felt she was beautiful, you know. And I mean, that's just pretty much, you can't even put it on like even hip-hop. That's like the American way. You know, like we have a tendency to vote for a cute president over an ugly one. We can sway the masses by saying this president is so big, like, come on, y'all, and then we'll say, oh, yeah, but his eyes are so blue, let's just go with him. Like, you know, it's kind of like the American way, so we can't even really put it on hip-hop. I think since all industries are male-dominant and men are visual first, they care about how the actresses look and how the rappers and singers, you know, like how everybody look. And it's up to the public to decide if they're going to go ahead and rock with something based on what they hear or what they see. Because if I hear somebody and your voice is just so dope, I'm going to buy the record. and I'm going to pay this tribute. If you just look good, I'm still going to be standing up there like, but what's about to come out of your mouth?
There you go. Exactly.
But the world, it really don't work like that. We be so busy. We'll look at an athlete. He could look like gorilla milk. But just because he have a big contract, if he get an average-looking sister, we'll clown her on the internet. Oh, she's so ugly. You seen her face? Oh, I never would have thought he would have went for somebody like that. And it's like, well, wait, he got a big contract, but he is real gorilla milk.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to really stop that. It's us. It's the consumers allowing ourselves to be manipulated by what the powers that be is telling us we should like. At the end of the day, most dudes go home to a chick, I feel, like me. Even when I was big, I was a representation of many people's wives and sisters and baby mamas and girlfriends. So I didn't feel a need to change until I got sick. If I wouldn't have got sick, I'd still be around here the biggest mama, 5'6". So it still would have been all of that had I not got sick, because I connected with the fact that I was like real people all the way around the board. And it's not to take anything away from any girl that work out or any girl that a lot of people consider beautiful, because, it's not to make it a ugly, pretty thing, because that's not fair, and
right.
And beautiful girls who people consider is sexy, they go through the same insecurities and the same heartache that everybody else do when it all come down to it. It's one sisterhood. So, I just feel like everything is outside in. And it's a shame, because a lot of the girls feel like I could just get in the game and I could just wear this see-through dress and I could just turn around and make my booty clap, and all the boys on stage are going to scream, and it don't matter what I'm saying. Or I could just make a song called Let Me Suck, 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 and it's going to be a hit, because all the guys really would love to be suck, 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 It's a shame that it's like that, but that's what it is. And every now and then, somebody going to bust out and make a record that you can't deny no matter what they look like. That's why I love Notorious Big so much.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And Mia, and before we let you go, I wanna throw a curveball your way. I want to ask you your opinion, because you are well respected down south, and this came across my wire early this morning, and I just really couldn't wait to talk to you to be able to get your opinion about it. And I'm pretty sure you probably already heard. The Katrina victims out there in New Orleans. 6 years later, FEMA is still trying to tell these 83,000 people that they owe them money now. All the people that they helped, they're trying to get the money back. Can you believe that?
Go to the game for the 5 days they left the people out there.
Mm-hmm.
FEMA needs to charge that to the game for the 5 days.
Amen to that. And I just didn't really... I just didn't really understand that, because, here I am reading it. It came across the wire, and I'm like, how FEMA is going to ask, and they're going to send these notices out to 83,000 people, victims of Hurricane Katrina, and they're actually saying that you owe us, you got to pay back the money? Are you serious?
That's to the game for them formaldehyde trailers that made people sick, and in 5 days they kept people out there watching all them dead people float in front of them. They have to charge them. It's just that simple, because what happened when those levees broke, that shouldn't have never happened nowhere in America. Nowhere for the world. We the world police, we the world leaders, we the world judges, and it shouldn't have never happened, where in a city as small as New Orleans, it took 5 days to get some aid and to get those people rescued. Like my family was stuck. My family's cars broke down. It's 45 minutes to get from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. But when they were evacuating everybody, that was an 18-hour drive. People were sitting in traffic 18 hours trying to get from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. You know, some people, it took them 36 hours to make it from New Orleans to Texas because traffic was so bad and people were running out of gas and cars were breaking. You know, some of us have cars now and we like, oh, I hope Nelly start this morning. It's cold. So imagine if you have to go and you have to go in Nelly. Everybody's not fortunate enough to have a new car, so those cars were breaking. People have to abandon their cars, go back to their houses, and the levees broke. So they were stuck in their houses or they died in their houses. And some people didn't find their loved ones till 6 months later. One of my girlfriend's daddy was under his sofa 6 months, and she kept telling him, I haven't heard from my dad. She called everybody. Finally, 6 months later, they tell her she have to do a DNA because they found a corpse, but the corpse was leather-like. So they couldn't identify it, and they needed to do DNA with her to make sure that it was in fact him, since the corpse was found on his property. And it was him, you know. So the psychological damage, that will never, ever, ever be healed. The things the children saw, the death and the gunfire and the heat and the lack of food and water, and then being brought to a strange place, because New Orleans is not like anywhere in America. It's like its own island. We talk different, we think different. We have a culture in New Orleans, and to be brought to other places where everything is different, it was a culture shock for the children, for our elderly. Baby FEMA got to charge back to the game. You heard me?
Got that right.
Yeah. You know what? And you know, real talk, like when all that stuff happened, Hurricane Katrina and stuff like that, people started migrating. I wasn't there when it happened, but people started migrating to my hometown. You know what I'm saying? That's just Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? And I was hearing a lot of stuff about, you know, migration and stuff like that. And, you know, it was hard for people in New Orleans.
It was. So think about it. Think about if you had to just leave. Like my grandmother's house is 156 years old. It's been in our family 156 years. And my grandfather had to leave because the area got 6 feet of water. We had to leave and be in another city. And, you know, like we do Monday Red Beans. New Orleans is so much more than Mardi Gras. We do masquerading, you know, where we pay honor to the Native Americans for rescuing the slaves and fighting and dying alongside of us. We filled with so many traditions. We know who our great-great-grandmothers are. We know that this grandmother came from Haiti, and that grandmother came from Belize. We know that grandfather was French. We know that grandfather was West Indian. We know things about ourselves, and we know why we have funny last names. And then you dropped off somewhere else where everything is different, you know, and not to say that there's no culture other places. It's just that we have a real strong sense of who we are and who our people are. You know, in New Orleans, there's nothing for you and your husband to take your mother and grandmother into the home, you know. So, like, everybody split up. Now my sister in California, now my sister here, now my sister there. You know, for me, I got a little sister. She's a doctor. She's in D.C., and I'm in Texas. That, like, kills me. But she got 6 feet of water, and she had to leave, and you know, our family is all over. I have people now, they in Arizona, they in Detroit, they everywhere. When we grew up the street and around the corner from each other, and, you know, it was like just daily bread to see each other, to converse with each other, to hug each other. Our children grew up and, you know, first cousins hang together like best friends, but now they're in Detroit. So it's like, you know, it's the culture shock alone. People will never, ever be able to grasp all the things that happened to the people when Katrina hit. It was not just, we got 19 feet of water or 20 feet of water. It's not just, this person died, that person died. We lost 5 people. It's not so much just the death, it's the whole after and your whole neighborhood is just flat.
Yep.
Right. Now,
You know.
let me say this, Mia. I know you about to get ready to go. We're gonna let you go because I know you got other things going on. As far as your website and your Twitter account, can you give those out so people can definitely follow you on those sites?
Okay, we just created my website, so it's not up in a few weeks, but it's called In the Kitchen with Mia X. But you guys can definitely laugh and jam and follow me on Twitter. I am the real Mia X, and become part of my team with them pots, and just vibe with me. Tell me what you're listening to. Tell me what you're eating on. And, we just do it like that. And I'm so happy that you guys talked to me tonight.
Hey, I swear, if y'all go on Mia X's Twitter right now, y'all see those little pictures or whatever, I'm telling you, y'all gonna go nuts. Like, I'm still looking at a few of them little things you was cooking, girl. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, that looks just as good.
I have a lot of food in there. I have music in there. I have old pictures from No Limit. I have new pictures. I have new pictures of me and the guys from No Limit because, we all keep in contact. We christened each other's babies and everything, and our kids are grown. So, if you go click in there, you'll see. A lot of people never saw KLC before. You'll see KL, and you'll see Mystical and Fiend and so many of them. Just go ahead and click and, ride with me, y'all, because it's real out here.
Yeah.
Right on. And before Dee Dee says his goodbye, I want to thank you for giving us a lot of not just game tonight, because listening to you, I'm over here just real charged up, like real inspired. But thank you for everything you've done in music since you've been putting music out. Because trust me, out here in the Bay Area, we love Mia X, and not just out here in the Bay, but globally. Like you are one of the well respected and well sought after female MCs still after all these years, and to me that's just a testament of your legacy and how you kept things throughout your career. So much love, seriously.
Thank you, and shout out to everybody in the Bay. Y'all know I lived in Hayward. I love the Bay.
That's where I'm at right now, sweetheart. And you know what, real quick, your birthday is the same birthday as my mom's, January 9th. That's just crazy. That's wild.
This is Capricorn season right now.
Yeah, yes it is. Yes, it is.
Nah, Mia, I appreciate you coming through. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you want to come through, make sure you come through, because on VPD's Wednesday exclusive, Nexxlegacy.com, you got love over here. You know what I'm saying? You can come over here anytime.
I might pop in on y'all every now and then. But shout out to all the aspiring artists. Make sure y'all business is intact. Save your money, and the sky is definitely the limit. So y'all take care. It's been good rapping with y'all, but I got a menu plan for tomorrow because I'm filming.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Mia, make sure you're following me, Mia. I'm following you. I hit you up, Mia. I'm following you. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta make sure you hit me up so I can know to follow you.
I'm gonna do that for you right now, Mia. I'm gonna send all of our information and stuff like that, so I'll make sure I put that on Twitter right now for you. We're about to run a song for you in a little while too, so you're gonna be seeing a lot of us in Twitter world. Trust me.
Okay, well, all right, y'all. Y'all be good.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.